Well, welcome to Cave Talk. Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? We back here again with Cave Talk. We are so thankful and excited to have you to join us again. Hopefully, you again to go like and subscribe to our YouTube channel right at Mac Cave Talk. And remember, it's a platform where we can come in and share with no judgment. It's just our opinions, it's our thoughts, it's what we feel. And we're just having some live dialogue going back and forth. And guess what? We still want you to come on and join us and join me and be a part of Cave Talk. Listen, today's topic, I'm sorry, it is one of the hottest topics that's been going. And that's one of the things we try to do. Have you got your hat yet? Have you got your hat yet? You know, this is what we try to do. We try to stay with the trend and come up with different things and different topics. We're still asking you to throw some topics out there that I can join in and discuss. I'm still interviewing host going from there. And I think some of you guys scared. You can come up here and say what you like and go from there. But today's topic, you've heard it enough, but it's our time now to have some talk about it. P. Diddy. P. did it? Oh, I'm sorry. No, P. Diddy. It's one of the most serious topics that's out here. And just want to throw some thoughts. I want you all to put in some comments and share some things, man. You know, you've been talking about it in your houses, talking about it among your friends. Let's have some conversation here on Cave Talk and let's talk about it. Well, we know the investigation's been going on, and they raided a couple of his houses, and now, but the latest thing that we're talking about is this video, and I'm going to get into it a little bit. This video that just come out of him abusing this young lady, and let me pause and say, if anyone is being abused, anyone is going through abuse or what have you, don't fail to reach out to the hotline or what have you. Make sure you get some help. Make sure you get out of that environment, and that's something that we can talk about even tonight as we go into that. And you saw the apology and all that. Maybe we'll get into some of that, but I do want to say a special prayer. My heart goes out to anyone that's dealing with any type of abuse, especially dealing with abuse as we've seen in the video. I'm not even going to cut and show the video because you can go Google it, you can find it. And I don't want to even share it anymore because it's very disheartening. And I'll give my thoughts on it and going from there. But number one, let's be honest. Everybody in this situation needs prayer, needs help. But mostly to this young lady, some things we want to bring out, talk about it. Cassidy, we are extending our heart, our prayers, our help, and everything towards you and your family. And going from there. So let's deal with it. Terrible situation. You see this young man putting his hands on this lady, this young girl, kicking her, abusing her in so many ways. And there's some questions I have, and there's some questions and thoughts you have. I'm just taking it to the public platform to deal with it. Number one, I think they said they started dating when he was 37 and she was 17. Let's have that conversation. 37 and 17. What's the age? What's the age? What's the, be honest with you. What's your thoughts on that? Let's my thoughts on it. We got to be straight up about it. We have to have some conversation. And that is, no, I don't want my daughter. And let's gonna be honest, we're biased to some situations. We don't want our kids or whatever and to date someone with that 20 age gap. That's feelings. But we're gonna have to talk about this thing tonight and say, hey, you got to get out of feelings if we're gonna have this real conversation. Because 37 and 17, in our eyes, feeling wise, we're like, it's crazy. But is there age? Is there age? Can you say, well, what if somebody is my age, 56, and and I'm dating somebody 36? I guess we say that's okay. So I guess what we have to really look at is what's the statute of limitations, and here's what we got to be able to say to we just got to say, hey, at the age, if from what we understand, age wise, they're not out of the confines of law. The law, I think, in North Carolina is 16. When I did my research and understanding it, it's not like that in every state. Some states it's 18, or what have you. Some states are 18, but so they weren't out of the confines of the law. So, but I will say this: at the age of 16, 17, whether it's a consent or not, dating someone that age, number one, your mind is not mature enough to handle it. I don't think your mind. You can say you're mature or what have you, and when it comes down to that, you got to figure out this. We got to get out of our feelings, and we got to figure out this. You got to pick. You got to pick which side of the law you're gonna be on, because it's us that voted. That we voted for the law in that, and that goes off to say that's why it's so important to be involved in our local elections and things like this and our national elections. So we'll be able to set the laws of whatever you're feeling. Because watch this, based on what we're seeing, legal age, it was okay. And when we get into our feelings wise, feelings ain't put nobody in jail. Feelings can't put nobody in jail or put nobody in hell. See, that's having a real conversation about the situation that took place. 37-17. Do I think her mind is totally immature? Of course. I don't think she can handle it. I mean, there are questions. There are things I don't know. So I'm not sitting here to suggest I know so many things, because it goes, where are the parents? Where are the relatives? I know sometimes young people get so grown till y'all think y'all can just do what you want to do. But that's not what this conversation is about. It's nothing of that sort concerning. I'm suggesting it about her, but that's something I want to be able to talk about, because when you think 37 and 17, hey, that's tough. That's tough. But legally, they looked like it was in the confines of the law and it was okay. But then when you get to that point, I believe it, when you're dating someone that young and that age right there are gonna be levels to it, because they're not gonna be able to handle the maturity of what it takes to grow in a relationship. You're not gonna be able to handle that mature, those different things. I think your mind can be very much manipulated. I do. I think your decisions can be manipulated. So even, and you all got to be honest and admit, it takes a lot, even in relationships, period. So, and I know that the questions is arising, and as everybody's been talking about it, but why did she leave? Hey, same questions I have. But being in that abusive situation, there's so many parameters around it. Was she scared? Was she intimidated? Was it some fear that cause her to stay longer, because it seems again, we're basing these on our feelings, that if she went through that, but then to be sure that we don't know, of course there are more tapes that's supposed to come out. My understanding, we don't know if that thing didn't just happen that one time. And I'll say this just as plain as day and make this point. I don't believe no man should put his hands on a female. I'm gonna look at this camera and be able to tell you this. No man should put his hands on a female. You shouldn't put your feet on a female. You should not be able to, because at the end of the day, women are not going to be able to beat men most of the time. Of course, women, you're going to say, hey, I will handle my own. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't even get into all that physicality. There's too much more to live for. No man should put his hands on any female. Get yourself out of that situation. Somebody might say, well, guess what? If she put her hands on him, he need to make sure this right here. Of course, you know people are going to sit around and say, hey, you act like a man, I'm going to treat you like a man. But at the end of the day, sir, get out of that situation. Get out of that moment, because it will turn up into a whole different moment, and and going from there. Now, so let me say it again, sir. Don't put your hands on a female. And in my personal feelings, my questions are, and my answers to some of this is, now that this tape has come out, hey, I'm trying to figure out, hey, and I haven't seen it yet. Somebody can enlighten me on this, because where her family, where the uncles, where's I don't know all the information. I'm just having a conversation, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Somebody do that to my daughter, or what have you, and of course she's married and she's and she's not dealing with any of that. But if someone do it to my daughter, I'm letting you know now. I'm coming to see them, and then it don't even have to be because who she's married to. If anybody put their hands on my daughter, I'm coming to see you. And I know that other men that feel like that too. I'm coming to see you. It ain't gonna be no law that's gonna stop me from what I need to do. Y'all don't need to pray that I stop. I'm going to handle it like I want to handle it. And even if the law get hold to you, we're gonna have to deal with some more situation. Yes, and it's recorded. This is recorded. I'm going to handle it, because at the end of the day, man, come put your hands on me, put your paws on me, and I don't. We can square up and do whatever we need to do. But at the end of the day, you don't put your hands on no female. Get yourself out of that situation. Now, for you Christians, for you unbiblical, unlearned Christians, now that you all say and try to put in here, what if someone is married and dealing with that situation? Oh, now y'all trying to put on them, they cannot on any level get no kind of divorce other than infidelity. Let's address your little unlearned mind to that, because everybody's going to have an interpretation about that. Because my thing is, God sure didn't call you to live in no type of abuse. There can be a breakup, there can be a divorce, and don't sit here and try to put your little legalistic laws on them to tell them that they can't have a relationship later on in life and get married. You can come see me on that. I don't care what y'all say about that. I told y'all I'm so far removed from your legalistic laws of trying to judge and look at other people's lives and tell them what they should do and what kind of lives they should live when you ain't dealing with what they deal with. So can you just mind your business? You ever tried that? I think that's why Jesus even told everybody, don't judge a situation, because you're judging it based on your feelings, not on the fact of what you're dealing with. Let me tell you this. I said this years ago, and I always say holiness is always easy when you don't have any option. It's always easy to say, this is what I would do. This is what I would have done. Or this is what would happen if I was in that situation. No, it's always easy to give your opinion when you're not privy to all the options around here. It's always easy to say you ain't dating nobody if nobody don't want you. It's always easy to say you ain't having no kind of sex if you ain't no sexual individual and all this kind of stuff. It's always easy for you to say you're now all of a sudden you're not doing this, and but then now you want to tell everybody they should have already got delivered. Well, should you have got delivered years ago? And deliverance means nothing but discipline. For you to be able to understand that deliverance means nothing but discipline. It doesn't mean that you don't have no desires and tastes, because even if you get over this thing, there's still going to be something over here you're going to have to deal with, and you're going to have to be able to still conquer. So don't sit around here with your lawful unlearned mind and try to say she just should have left or how she should have left. I think she should have left. It's hard, but I don't know what it's like to be in an abusive situation like that. So I do my best to keep my judgments. But what I do know, if they put his hands on somebody I know that's close to me like that, I'm coming for you. That's what I do know. And that ain't got nothing to do with me being saved, me being a bishop, me being a pastor. Y'all can write that down. You can come up here with your little comments or whatever. I'm still coming for you, because at the end of the day, you don't have to put your hands on no female in that aspect. All right. So here's another thing. Violence comes out in different ways. So it's not just through the sharing of hands and throwing and kicking and scratching and fighting, but violence can be coming out in different ways. It can come out in pure silence. It can come out in anger. It can come out in how you treat a person. It can come out in so many different ways. So when we sit here and look at this, you got to look at all the levels to this. And then when we deal with this point about his apology, I saw a lot of comments. No, people aren't buying the apology. And let me say this to you. I don't know if the man meant it or not. It doesn't feel that way to me. Again, those are feelings of mine. But I just got a question I need to ask some of you all. And I told y'all, I'm going to say this. I ain't going to be up here too long tonight. Today. But here's the question. If you look at all the music that he produces, you can say that's just a job. No, I think it goes beyond just a job. When you look at the music that says all the things that he produces, it's teaching you to just be a hoe, or it's teaching you that about killing people. It's teaching you about all these types of things. So basically, he promoted what he was believing. So here's my question: what more did you expect? What more did you expect? So some things, it's kind of like when you look at what people promote, it's really what they believe, or not always what they believe, but sometimes it's basically what you can expect. And here's my thing when it comes to us in this earth and us on the earth. Now that it come out, now we all feel like this is who the person is. I've always said this point: people are fine with you until they know. People are okay with you until they find something out about you. Guess what? Now that we know this, now that we've seen this, now all of a sudden we want to discredit and discount everything that the gentleman has done. Check this out. The reality of it is, we were still listening to his music when people were making these allegations and they were saying all these things. We were still listening to this music. I just had a cave talk a few weeks ago. I talk about the club versus the church, and I asked, "Hey, do you still play the music behind R. Kelly?" They was like, "Sure," what have you. Then people are gonna say this: is he gonna recover? Really, what does he got to recover from? He's not producing music anymore. He's not making music anymore. He only produces the music, and there are ways to follow that. But here's my thing too: it's amazing how we choose what we want, and we choose when we want to be moral. Y'all don't want me to get into all that. We choose when we want to be moral. You ain't moral about some things, but then you moral about this thing. That's the piece that I want to get into, even just a little bit. You choose to be moral now because you're saying, "Hey, I've decided to do this." But again, he promoted it. He said it through his music. He said it through his artists. He actually said all these types of things. When we allow and when we listen to and we sit here and promote all the things about raping women, abusing women, and all this type of stuff, I still believe if you're not guarded, it can get in your spirit. I do. You got to be real careful about that. And now, am I one that listen to gospel music? I'm straight up with y'all. Y'all know I tell y'all straight up. I keep it 100 authentic. I don't sit around and listen to all the gospel music because some gospel music is totally boring and some music is totally depressing. So I like to listen to music that number one, I like uplifting music, but number two, I like feel, and it depends on the mood of what I'm in. So, but when do you choosing to be moral? You're moral about this. Watch this. You moral about adultery and all those types of things, but you're not moral about assisting and helping your kids do something illegal. Or you're very moral about they shouldn't do this, but then you're very immoral about adultery or stealing or whatever. And we try to choose. This is the way I've always put it. We give grace to who we want to give grace to. Isn't that amazing? How we give grace to who we want to give grace to. And Christian wise, with this whole situation, the man, if he's repented to God, he's already forgiven. He still got to face the consequences of whatever's going to take place. He still has to face consequences. Spiritually, if he's actually repented and asked God, hey, that's on him. God has already forgiven him. And at the end of the day, he does need to be finding somewhere to lock in, get in somebody's church, love on God, and get himself together so that he can attempt to really try to be a better person. But guess what? I want to make sure that the mental capacity of this young lady that dealt with this, we don't know. We don't know how many years she's dealt with it. We don't know what she's dealt with. We don't know what caused it. And I know y'all over here telling me he threw a vase. Man, y'all gonna get out here. He threw a vase. That's the craziest mess. To throw a vase. Well, if a vase is something else, please inform me because I'm not all that informed. I stick to what I know. And so, but all that mess is crazy, man. So I want y'all to give me your comments. Give me your thoughts on all of this. I wish I had someone up here to dialogue with me about it because at the end of the day, that's some straight bull. That, man, sir, if you got to fight a woman to make you feel your worth, you got some major issues because she's not going to be able to beat you most likely. Why? Why you got to fight a woman? I mean, why you got to put your hands on her to make sure you feel your worth? If you all that bad, put your hands on a dude. Put your hands on a nigga and say, listen, hey, come do that. Let's go throw them blows and do it that way. That just shows your vulnerability. That shows your weakness. And that's not me. I'm not saying that I don't have issues and problems in my life, but that's not one. Let's make sure that's clear. That's not one. And I think that's something that needs to be kept in check. If you're in that situation, man, get out that situation. Get out of that situation. Get away from it. You got to leave the house. If she's very aggressive, you got to get out. You got to leave that house. You got to do something so that it doesn't keep escalating to a point to where what? Somebody going to get hurt. Someone's going to get hurt. And I'm going to be honest with you. This tape situation, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't buy it. I don't think that tape got leaked. I think the federal government could have just done it. It's called what it is. It ain't even the point of it if it got leaked or not, because the tape shouldn't have been done. It should never have happened. Hey, y'all feeling me on that? It don't even matter if it got leaked or anything, because at the end of the day, it shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have been putting his hands on no female. He shouldn't have been beating this girl like this. And at the end of the day, you got to deal with these consequences. And that's about all I have to say about it. Hey, I know it won't long. Y'all can check this out on your way to work, sitting at your desk. But give me your thoughts. And maybe I'll come back and talk about it next week and I'll bring a special guest up here with me if they want to come, and we can talk about this thing because we can really deal with why she didn't leave. Your thoughts on it. But the consent age appears to have been consensual. So those are things we may have voted for, we put in place. So we can't put our feelings there to do all that and go from there. All right. Listen, I want to appreciate you tuning in to Cave Talk this week. Y'all give me your comments, your thoughts, and I'm gonna come back and comment to on some of your comments down there. And remember, go tell somebody, subscribe to Cave Talk. We're having a good time. I can't wait to see you again next week. Peace out.